All right, so question number 3 is kind of simple. It's expanding, but instead of expanding a square, you're expanding a cubic power. So we're going to use the technique of FOIL to expand this. So we know that x minus 2 cubed is equivalent to saying x minus 2 times x minus 2 times x minus 2. So we're going to use a technique of FOIL, which suggests that we should multiply the first terms, the outside terms, the inside terms, and the last terms. So if we're looking at these two terms here, these two factors, we're going to multiply the first terms. So the first terms, we're going to multiply the outside terms. So if you think about it as like relationally in distance, these terms are outside, the x and the negative 2. So we're going to multiply these two together. All right. The inside terms, which is relationally, if we're talking about distance, is inside. And the last terms, which means the last terms in each of these factors, which is negative 2 and negative 2. And we're going to add them all together. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So that equals, so the first term is x times x, x squared. The outside terms is x times negative 2, which is negative 2x. The inside terms is negative 2 times x, which is negative 2x. And the outside terms is negative 2 times negative 2, which is 4. Okay, cool. All right, so we can simplify this further by writing x squared minus 4x plus 4 times x minus 2. Okay, but we're not done expanding yet. We still have this factor to expand into. And we're still going to use the concept of FOIL, but instead we have 3 terms now. Right? We have 1, 2, and 3. So it's kind of still like FOIL, but there's no first, inside, outside, last. But the concept here is that you want to multiply all of these terms in this factor with all of these terms in the second factor. So you want to multiply this and this, and this, right? Whoops. Okay. You also want to multiply this and this, and this and this. Okay. Finally, you want to multiply this term, this last term, and this term. Oh, sorry. This term together. Okay, so we multiply all these terms together, right? So let's do that now. So x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times negative 2 is negative 2x squared. Negative 4x times 4 is negative 4x squared. Negative 4x times negative 2 is 8x. 4 times x is 4x. And 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. If we simplify that all together, we get x cubed minus 6x squared plus 12x minus 8. So let's see if the junior tutor has the same solution here. So they alternatively write it like this. They solve for the square, so they solve for this one, which is this, and then they distributed it out further, and this is what they got, which is the same as this. So this is the correct solution. Good work. Okay. Solving for the square. So yeah, they use a different technique. They didn't FOIL it out. They memorized this equation where they solve for the square and they just plugged in their own values here. So, but that's another way of solving this question. So this question is correct. All right, let's move on to question 4.